Have you ever felt a quiet hum of dissatisfaction? A sense that your energy is scattered across a dozen different tasks, yet none of them ever reach their full potential. In a world that celebrates doing everything, we often end up mastering nothing. We chase notifications, scroll through endless feeds, and juggle countless ambitions, only to find ourselves feeling fragmented, overwhelmed, and strangely empty. This isn't a failure of effort. It's a failure of focus. We've been told that more is better, but the ancient masters knew a different truth. They knew that real power, true fulfillment, comes not from breadth, but from depth, from choosing one path and walking it with unwavering dedication. This is the timeless wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most legendary swordsman. In the 17th century, as he neared the end of his life, Musashi retreated to a cave to write a guide for future generations. He called it Go Rin No Sho, or the Book of Five Rings. It was not just a manual on sword fighting, but a profound philosophy on strategy, mastery, and life itself. At its core is a simple, powerful idea. Know one thing and you know 10,000 things. The master does not dabble. The master dedicates. The way of the warrior, he taught, is the resolute acceptance of a single path. Imagine Musashi in his prime. He didn't spend his mornings practicing archery, his afternoons studying politics, and his evenings learning the flute. He dedicated his entire being to the sword. Each day was a repetition, a refinement of the same fundamental movements. The drawing of the blade, the posture, the strike. To an outsider, it might have looked monotonous, but within that repetition, a universe was unfolding. With each practice, his movements became more efficient, his mind clearer, his spirit calmer. He wasn't just learning to fight, he was forging his own soul. His focus became his armor, his sword an extension of his will. When facing an opponent, he wasn't distracted by fear or doubt. There was only the moment, the blade, and the path to victory. This is the power of singular devotion. Now, let's look at our world. Meet Adam. He lives in a city that never sleeps, a life illuminated by the glow of screens. His days are a blur of emails, social media alerts, and half-finished projects. He wants to learn guitar, start a business, get in shape, and travel the world. His apartment is filled with books he has only read a chapter of, and equipment he has barely used. He feels busy all the time, but not productive. A constant, low-level anxiety follows him, the feeling of running in place. He's suffering from the modern condition, the burnout of fragmentation. His energy is a river diverted into 100 shallow streams, none with enough force to carve a path through stone. One evening, exhausted and unfulfilled, Adam stumbles upon Musashi's words. "The path you walk is the path you make." It strikes him like a gong in a silent temple. He realizes he has been trying to walk every path at once, and in doing so, has gone nowhere. He looks at his dusty potter's wheel in the corner, a passion he'd abandoned for newer, shinier goals. He makes a decision, a quiet, firm commitment. He will focus on one thing: pottery. He deletes the distracting apps from his phone. He puts away the guitar. He dedicates 1 hour every single evening to the clay. This is the first ring of Musashi's philosophy, the earth ring. It is about knowing your ground, the fundamentals. For Musashi, it was understanding the terrain and the unchanging principles of the sword. For Adam, it is the clay itself. The first few weeks are a struggle. The clay collapses, the shapes are clumsy. His mind wanders, tempted by the familiar buzz of his phone. But he persists. He learns the feel of the material, how it responds to pressure, how much water it needs. He is not trying to create a masterpiece. He is simply learning the ground he stands on. He is building his foundation, one imperfect bowl at a time. This disciplined repetition isn't punishment. It's a meditation. The world outside his small studio, with all its noise and demands, begins to fade away. Months pass. Adam's hands now move with a quiet confidence. This is the water ring. Musashi taught that a master's spirit should be like water. It adapts, it is flexible, yet it is powerful. It fills any container, takes any shape. Adam begins to feel this flow. He is no longer fighting the clay, he is guiding it. His mind, once a storm of scattered thoughts, becomes a calm, steady river. He can sit at the wheel for hours, lost in the process. The rhythm of his work becomes the rhythm of his breath. He has found a state of deep flow, where time seems to bend and the self disappears, leaving only the creator and the creation. His focus is no longer a rigid effort, but a natural, fluid state of being. One day a major gallery announces a competition for emerging artists. The pressure is immense. In the past, this kind of stress would have sent Adam spiraling into anxiety and procrastination. But now something is different. He feels a fire within him. This is the firing, the fire of action, of decisiveness in the heat of the moment. Musashi described this as the intensity of battle, where you fight as if your hair is on fire. For Adam, the competition is his battle. He doesn't panic. He draws on the hundreds of hours of focused practice. His deep well of experience has given him an unshakable confidence. He works with an intensity that surprises even himself, not out of fear, but out of a burning passion. His focus, honed in quiet repetition, now becomes his greatest weapon under pressure. Next, Musashi speaks of the wind ring. This is about knowing the ways of others, understanding different schools and traditions. Once you have mastered your own path, you can look outward. Adam, now a respected potter, begins to visit other artists' studios. He studies ancient Japanese techniques and modern European designs, but he is not tempted to abandon his own style. Instead, he integrates what he learns, enriching his own craft without losing its core. Because he is secure in his own foundation, the earth, water, and fire of his practice, he can learn from the wind without being blown off course. He sees the connections between different forms, the universal principles that unite all creators. As Musashi said, from one thing, he can now understand 10,000 things. Finally, there is the void ring. This is the most profound. The void is not emptiness, but a state of mind beyond thought, beyond ego. It is where your training becomes so ingrained that it is pure instinct. You do not think, you simply act. Your mind is clear, calm, and open, reflecting everything like a flawless mirror. For Musashi, this was the state of a warrior who has transcended life and death. For Adam, it is a moment of pure creation. He sits at his wheel, and there is no Adam, no clay, no competition. There is only the turning, the shaping, the emergence of form. He has reached a place of effortless mastery. His focus is no longer something he does. It is who he is. His work is no longer just pottery. It is a reflection of a balanced, centered, and powerful mind. The journey of the master is not about becoming the best in the world. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. In a world that pulls us in a million directions, the choice to focus on one thing is a radical act of self-preservation. It is the path to clarity, to confidence, and to a deep, quiet strength that no distraction can shake. Burnout doesn't come from working hard. It comes from working on fragmented, meaningless tasks. Deep, focused work is regenerative. It builds you up. It turns your scattered energy into a concentrated force. What is the one thing you will choose? What path, if you walked it with singular devotion, would transform you? The answer is already within you, waiting in the quiet space beneath the noise. The way of the master is available to us all. It begins with a simple choice, to turn away from the many and embrace the one, to find your sword, your clay, your single point of focus, and dedicate yourself to it. In the end, what you master is not just a skill, it is yourself. Thank you for joining us on this journey. For more on applying ancient methods to modern life, subscribe to Eternal Method.